the armed general public having the means to stop weirdos is the preferred method of stopping weirdos.
A few little interesting developments this week in the Second Amendment argument. Of course, in my hometown, my home state, Greenwood, Indiana, I'm about 30 minutes, or grew up about 30, 15, 20 minutes outside of Greenwood. Greenwood Park Mall had a potential mass shooter, a guy that I do think ended up shooting 3 or maybe killing 3 and injuring 2 others. But he was shot by what police describe as a Good Samaritan who was actually carrying a gun in the mall and shot and killed the mass shooter with his handgun within 2 minutes of the mass shooter opening fire. This quieted this story and stopped the corporate media from using this as another example of, what's wrong with America, because they didn't know how to react to the fact that a good guy with a gun actually shut down what could have been a horrific, and it was a horrific event, but a really horrific event. This guy, I think, according to reports, sat in a bathroom for an hour preparing for this mass shooting at a food court inside the Greenwood Park Mall, and a Good Samaritan shut him down inside of 2 minutes. Wanted to get Maj Toure's expert opinion. Of course, Maj is the leader of Black Guns Matter. He's our Second Amendment expert on this show. Maj, I wanted your reaction to what happened in Greenwood, and what lessons do you think we should take from that?
Well, the first lesson is everyone should be armed. If you feel competent in your skill set, you train consistently. Right now, I'm here at the range. We had shoot indoors right outside of King of Prussia, 15 minutes away from my house in Philadelphia. If you are training and you are being consistent, and if you are following the protocol of safe and responsible firearms owners, I'm perfectly fine with you carrying a firearm into a mall. I know that, certain companies that own a bunch of malls around the country think that you should not have a firearm, but this is a perfect example of someone stepping up, and huge, condolences to his family and friends. But I think one of his loved ones was saying that she's super proud that he did this. He stopped a lot of carnage during that scenario. And so it just tells us that what we've been saying for, I think we talked about it a few shows back. The armed general public having the means to stop weirdos is the preferred method of stopping weirdos. And I think that, we saw the Uvalde shooting. These guys, for 70 some odd minutes, law enforcement officers, quote unquote, cowards, basically. And this is not indicative of every law enforcement officer, but these guys stood around for over an hour while the bad guy killed children. This citizen, this 22-year-old, stepped in and did the right thing. Unfortunately, it cost him his life, but it saved untold amounts of life. And this is the way that we got to start treating these guys. I want to hold no quarter for a guy that's going into a food court. The reason you should be going into a mall is to get some new sneakers, get them Chinese LeBrons, something like that. That's what you should be in the mall for. You should not be in the mall to harass, brutalize, kill, or maim. And so I'm so fortunate. We are so fortunate that this young man, with so much life ahead of him, took on that responsibility and stopped the threat.